The portal has taken us into a new world, a Dota world. EG versus Undying. This is for the second place tiebreaker. Waga, what are your? I mean, do you agree with the panel that you were just on, Waga?
I think the panel was better than ever today, honestly. I think about 50% of that panel was flawless. And we see, like you said, it's going to be Undying versus EG. Undying scouting some higher ground ward on the mid lane with the puck real quick. Also placing vision for himself.
Kind of an untraditional draft from EG. No real late game carry. It's a position 1 Queen of Pain that Arteezy is playing. And I mean, we've seen a bunch of Abed Kunkka mid, so that's not a huge surprise, but it was the last pick.
Yeah.
So do you think that was, I mean, it's more mid game oriented, like you said, but do you think it was because of the matchup with Puck? Although Quap should do fine against Puck, right? That's pick it all the time.
Queen lane's fine against Puck, but we see a lot of the time when she hits level 6, when both of them are level 6, then the ganks come in, the coil kills the Queen very easily. So I think you're happier having your Kunkka laning against the Puck, so that he doesn't get killed so easily by a coil rotation. And speaking of carry Queen, I mean, Arteezy has played that a lot in the past. This is not a new thing for him to do. He was one of the... you know, people who pioneered the carry Queen, I want to say, in the recent Dota2 community.
Yeah, his Queen is, I wouldn't say it's legendary, but it's quite good. I mean, the good thing is he can get off cliffs, right? That's the biggest benefit of having a blink ability on his hero.
True.
Which he is probably not used to as of late, but... so take me back to the mid lane. So Kunkka versus Puck, you're saying that I mean, it is Brile versus Abed. Abed is probably the strongest mid laner in... Oh, that's actually tough. Between him and Quinn, I would say. Very tough to choose.
Yeah, Abed is very, very good at outplaying people in 1v1 scenarios. He's a pretty flashy player when you look at what he does. And in this matchup, I think he's heavily favored. Puck actually struggles a little bit. You can try to phase shift dodge the Tidebringers, but... I mean, you can only do it so much. If he keeps faking his auto attack, you're gonna get hit.
And top lane, Arteezy playing the Queen of Pain like we talked about. He's accompanied by Crit, and they're facing against Saberlight, who's in a solo lane right now, which is very interesting. That brings us to the bottom lane, where MSS, I thought it was going to originally try to solo this, but he's going to be accompanied by Jerax. And right now, it is against a tri lane from Undying, an aggro tri.
Yeah.
How long do you think they're going to keep this here?
Yeah, the brilliant panel mentioned this tri-lane possibility. I think they're going to try and stay here until Luna gets a solid advantage. She is leading the way in CS now, and of course Timbersaw can barely touch the creeps. But I think they can stay here for as long as they want, honestly. They don't have to help the DP. She'll probably be fine on her own, or, you know, not necessarily fine, but...
Good enough.
To the wolves.
Yeah, I mean... Already, obviously, the CS advantage starting to mount in EG's favor in the top lane, but it is a 2v1, like you said, so nothing surprising overall. But if, like, how important is MSS's game this time around? Because this is an untraditional draft. There's not a typical carry. Does that mean one of these, like either Quap or Timbersaw, have to kind of pop off? As looks like First Blood is actually going to go the way of Undying here against Jerax's Oracle.
Yeah, Jax gets brought down. I think it's very important to shut down Timber's impact early on in laning stage, or he can be this annoying mid-game hero that you cannot really deal with. Like, you have no hero that you can send that you can just be okay laning against him or even threaten him that much. So I like the approach of prioritizing this lane the most for Undying. As for EG, I think they're probably pretty happy anyway, though. As long as they have Abed and Arteezy farming, I think they're not going to be too sad.
I mean, MSS is already level 3. Now that he's gotten a lot of his solo XP, he feels like he's going to be fine here. And it looks like the tri-lane has dissipated, at least for now, as Moon Meander makes his way to the top lane. Saberlight taking a lot of damage. He's going to get denied, potentially.
Nice.
Moon Meander, right place, right time. Nicely done.
Yeah, he was just standing in a tree line waiting for it, so not too much lost there. He's of course going to be there to soak up experience as well with the Tusk, so he gets his level 2. Like you said, the Timbersaw is going to be okay. It's more that he doesn't dominate the bottom lane now. A lot of denies on Luna, and Luna has so high damage, she can actually keep denying a Timbersaw rather easily. I mean, she's already sitting at over 80 damage with level 2 Aura.
So I know you. It's funny asking you questions when you were on the panel and you talked about this.
Yes,
maybe we can go a little bit deeper into this. The Oracle pick from JRX is also a bit unusual. Not a hero that we not only not see him play, but nobody really. And it's typically accompanied by like a Death Prophet type hero or something that has a lot of healing. I mean, Timbersaw is the closest you're going to get on this team. Is it just for the False Promise save?
I think it's mainly for a False Promise save in this game. Of course, you want something that regenerates quickly, and Timbersaw kind of fills that role. However, how often will he prioritize saving Timber in the mid to late game over Queen? I think the Oracle is probably going to just try and keep Queen alive throughout the fight, because she is a hero that can get locked down and brought down quite easily otherwise.
Yeah. Yes. Should be very interesting to see how that works, though. Not the most exciting hero, but the fact that it's not picked makes it kind of exciting in and of itself. As Abed is actually skipping the wave here. Bryle taking a lot of damage, have to illusory orb back to his fountain as Dubu. Doing a good amount of damage to Abed, but he's got the bottle charges, and the rune will be coming up in the next minute. See if he can control that.
Yeah, I like the between tower aggression by Abed, just pressuring the Puck out of lane. Of course, Puck gonna TP in and bottle up Snapfire a little bit, get some mana back on that Snap.
Yeah, and CS advantage is the way of Abed, but I mean, he, like you said, not the biggest surprise in terms of just the pure hero matchup. Plus, Kunkka loves to go into that jungle and constantly kill those small camps, so maybe a little bit deceiving in the numbers here, because in terms of actual net worth, not a whole lot of difference here.
True.
But really, the story is Tomato in the bot lane, like you said. That Tri-Lane really did help amplify his farm. He's top net worth already.
It's pretty...
having himself a game.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to watch the CS and see how mirrored it is almost. The Death Prophet versus Timbersaw, how shut down they got. Well, trying to kill the...
I'm going to try to turn this around onto Crit, but a nice Earth Spike from Crit comes out, and looks like Arteezy is going to get credit for that one. As Moonmeander now looks to be next, so EG, with rotations from Jerax even, able to take down 2 heroes of Undying pretty swiftly.
Wow, that's really clean. And the fact that they pulled is going to hurt them. But should be fine. Can't really kill a Kunkka when he has boat buff up, but yeah, the fact that they pulled as well before that fight happened means they lost all the creep wave experience on top as well after they died, so that was a really huge double takedown.
And of course, these teams did play during the season itself, as you guys talked about. EG only lost to teams that they shouldn't lose to, and beat all the teams that were the top 2, which is Undying and Quincy Crew. Kind of late bloomers here, as Abed's going to get snowballed in on with Dubu's damage from the side. The cookie's not going to connect, but I believe Abed will fall regardless, as Bryle and company able to secure themselves the mid laner.
Did EG start out losing their first 2 series? Because I didn't watch the beginning of...
Actually, I do have it up right now. Actually, I don't... Let's see.
Because I feel like they
won against Arkosh week 1.
Oh, right. That doesn't count. It's Arkosh.
Yeah, that's true. They almost did lose 1 game to Arkosh, though, so they were not in good shape.
Yeah, but they definitely...
but yeah, week 2 and week 3 they lost their series, and then won out past that.
Yeah, since then they've looked like they've really found their groove. And now...
Yeah, actually, now that I look at it, it's all their wins are 2-0s, so they haven't really been that close. Like, I remember the Undying series and the Quincy Crew series that we cast yesterday. Wasn't really close for any of the games, so
yeah,
they are just playing on another level.
That means that they didn't they lose the same amount of games then as Quincy? If you look at like games lost,
they lost less. Actually.
They lost less even. Wow.
They were in terms of just singular games.
Oh,
11
true. Yeah.
Quincy Crew 12-6.
Yeah, because EG of course won 2-0 against them. Yeah, I didn't think about those 2 losses. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this yesterday as well with the bottom of the bracket, though, because Black and Yellow and Simply 2-Base, very lopsided win-losses comparisons, where Black and Yellow won way more games, but they still end up getting relegated because they lost this matchup to Simply 2-Base.
Yeah. Oh, Puck trying to steal. Nice kill bottom.
Yep, that's not going to work out for Saberlight. MSS gets his first kill of the game. And meanwhile, in the triangle, we see the boat come out from Abed. Moon Meander takes heavy damage, but going to survive for now. Nice coil onto the Queen of Pain. Sonic Wave is going to be dodged, but Bryle will be able to get out. No. MSS with the transition, able to clean him up in turn. And that's 4 dead for Undying. It does cost Arteezy his life, but still, EG favored for sure.
Arteezy's ulti looked like it was dodged, but he actually came out of the phase shift and got pushed back towards Queen because he got hit from behind by Queen ulti. It's kind of funny how that looks.
All right, let's see the replay.
Yeah, look at the puck in slow motion here, and you'll see what happened. If he just had any bit more time to hide. You see that?
Oh, yeah, that's really close. And he popped the Fairy Fire shortly after, and actually would have gone out just fine, but MSS with a nice TP to secure the kill there. Arteezy working on, I assume it's just going to be the Kaya Sange. I wouldn't say it's complete cookie cutter because it's somewhat game dependent, but this is the more common build, I want to say, as the first item into probably BKB or something.
You know, he did sell an item, so sometimes you see players put stuff in quick buy and then change it. He even bought the Blitz Knuckles thinking he was going to go towards the Witchblade, and then he sold again and bought out the items towards Sange. So yeah, just prioritizing survivability here, and doesn't have to have so much kill potential necessarily. I think I agree with that.
Yeah, so you do have the status. I mean, he's going against 2 silences between the Death Prophet and Puck. Do you think he needs to just get a BKB right after this Sange Kaya, or can he go for, like, does he want to play a more aggressive build instead of defensive, considering their lineup doesn't scale as well late game?
It's very likely he gets forced to buy an early BKB here. I mean, even Luna later on when she gets the Eclipse, I mean, for now she's just going farming build, right? But later on when she has Eclipse as well, you probably need to have a BKB on Queen. I suspect that will be the builds.
And we'll see if he can survive until then. Yeah, but still just working on that Sange. His net worth is relatively good, top 3 right now, but still, Tomato is having himself a game. Mask of Madness, about 700 away from the full Dragon Lance. And he has barely been pressured, it feels like. 0, 0, and 0 with 103 CS.
Yep, as clean as you can ask for. Not really anything to complain about.
Yeah, MSS in the jungle as well. So he has his Arcane Boots, and looking like it's going to be a Yule Scepter game for him, which, again, no big surprise for that dispel on all the silences. I mean, he could go Lotus later as well. Might have to get both, but we'll see what he ends up prioritizing.
It's a nice Lotus game. I love Lotus orbing against the Snowball as well, since you can leave it whenever you want, if that makes sense. You can, like, blink out of it as Queen of Pain. You can Timber Chain out of it. It's really nice to have a Lotus Snowball.
Is that during the roll-up animation or when you're actually snowballing?
Yeah, while you're rolling and animating, you can use something to blink out of it, and then you, like, send a snowball, but you're not in it.
Okay.
So it's a very nice...
I've seen that before. I didn't understand the interaction completely.
Yeah, that's why Antimage is a great example of a hero that you don't want to snowball as Tusk, because you just give him, like, you know, one more tool to work with.
Right. Well, most of the team is in the mid lane right now, posturing to try to potentially take a tower. And aside from Death Prophet, I guess Undying definitely have the better pushing team, so that's something that Arteezy and company are going to have to try to withstand. It's such an interesting lineup because they don't have the best late game. They don't have great pushing. Like, who hits the towers here for EG?
They're probably all gonna try and hit the towers after killing the enemy. Like, I think their entire idea is that their heroes are gonna function well in the mid game together and create a very strong team fight and overall, like, 5-man lineup at that point. But you're definitely right. It's not a lineup that excels super hard in something obvious. It's a curious draft overall, whereas Undying's is, you know, strong late game, strong push. It's ease of execution is higher on Undying, whereas EG have to be more methodical.
Exactly. It's less obvious. It's more nuanced in general. And I think you said this on the panel as well, but the execution it's more important. It's harder to execute for EG, at least on paper.
They're going to try and execute someone because they're smoking up and looking to go into the dire triangle here, where Luna is farming a stacked Ancient Camp. They smoked.
Yeah, and Undying, they actually abandoned the Ancient Camp and smoked themselves, and they will pass like ships in the night. Although MSS is still in the area if they want to go into the jungle here. Looks like Bryle and Saberlight can pop the Exorcism, so there might be a fight here at the tier 1 tower.
They're stealing.
Although EG is actually happy to just steal the ancient camps instead.
Yeah, they're just taking the farm. This is so awkward, but I think Undying is starting to realize like they have to be somewhere. What's going on? They're all just waiting for DP to push.
Yeah, I think Arteez is going to show himself bot lane, so they know that they're in this general area. And Dubu's going to get spotted out, instantly dewarded by MSS, and the ancient camp is now gone.
Yeah, in the end.
But they do get the mid tower.
Yeah, they get an important tower in the mid tower. Normally we talk about how mid tower is more important than the side towers because it's closer towards Roche, and that is an important area to control. But now they want to defend bottom as well. They don't want to allow this.
Ooh, coil set up by the Tumbler toy, but there's the false promise to try to keep Arteezy alive. He should be fine. Still took quite heavy damage. I'm not sure if a Purifying Flames came out after the fact, but basically no damage taken.
I mean, they're missing 3 ultis on Undying right now, and Luna barely has Eclipse since she only has 2 points beam. I think EG should fight.
Yep, Arteezy trying to chase a bit here. They don't have vision on Dubu, though. Looks like the rest of Undying are going to get out. Maybe they'll just settle for this tier 1 bot. Exorcism is not up for another 70 seconds. We'll see how aggressive Undying actually want to get. Moon Meander snowballing in. It will not connect onto crit. Horn actually connects onto Saberlight instead. And now EG on the run. So Undying being very aggressive despite not having almost any ultimates to work with. 3 of them are down.
Yeah, they also noticed that RTZ showed top, and he was previously bottom, so he has to have TP'd there. So that gave confidence to Undying to pursue here and try and get an engagement, since the carry would be missing for EG. But in the end, a lot of posturing, not that much happening, and I think Undying are pretty happy. Getting that mid tower for their ancient stack was a pretty okay trade. It was just a double stack.
Yeah, it feels like the more delays, the better for Undying, on paper at least.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Crit is actually getting pretty close to a Blink Dagger. Only 200 away. That's going to be pretty big. The instant Hex is something that Puck will have to try to play around. And Abed about 300 away from the BKB. I believe Sange Kaya was already finished here by Arteezy.
Yep.
And on the other side, BKB is being worked on by Saberlight, but that's quite a ways away. So we see the coil used again on Arteezy. Is there a false promise in the vicinity? He's going to actually just stand there, and there's a finger of death to blow up Bryle. And Arteezy wants to continue on. And Jarak still, no false promise for 7 seconds, but they're going to waste the Exorcism.
Yeah, you still have confidence. Confidence on Arteezy just standing there and fighting, even though they didn't have promise, and now they do have it, so might dive deep here if they see a chance to go on anyone.
Abe going to X-TP back to base, so he'll be back very shortly.
Oh, he has BKB on Kunkka. Wow.
Oh, he does finish it, yeah. That is a reveal and a half right there if they want to go in here. And Saberlight, basically no mana at all. So EG, they do have to worry about Puck, but of course no coil to work with. MSS getting Spirit Siphon, but again Timber Chain to safety. The Torrent's not going to connect, but you see the Snapfire. Oh, there's the Quapple to follow, though. X marks. I think that was on Abed himself. As false promise applied to MSS. He's going to be fine in all likelihood. Trying to get out of dodge, though. They're going to turn this around onto Saberlight. He's very low, and somehow nobody has died in this engagement. Chakram is there. Moon Meander. There's the Eclipse, though, from Tomato. He is doing so much damage. That's one dead, but Abba with the BKB going to mitigate a lot of it. But the right clicks he cannot mitigate. He's continuing to try to get chased. Tomato pops the BKB for himself. If he can't find anything, that'd be a big waste of a BKB, but the coil is off cooldown again, and this time Arteezy cannot be saved. False promise on cooldown.
Yeah, Undying played that team fight so nicely. There's a lot of details that happened, but I think one of my favorites there was the snowball dodge onto the Queen ulti. He picked up with the snowball, picked up the DP, I believe it was. Yeah, there it is. And I mean, that just kept both of them full HP, while Snapfire kind of zoned everyone else back. I think this was a really well-taken fight by Undying.
Yeah, they've played it very patiently, and even without a couple of their primary spells, able to bring that fight back in their favors. Tomato's going to take out a big ancient stack. They likely will give up this tier 1 tower finally, but this required so much time and energy. They still have fort, never mind.
Nothing is free in this world.
The pushing prowess from EG is not good.
No, they're really not that strong. And while they had a BKB timing there, I mean, the fact that Luna got her BKB delivered as well in that fight meant that they just didn't really have enough of an advantage, and that's what they need. In order to push or in order to take these towers down, they will have to win the team fight first, whereas Undying can kind of just siege up with the Death Prophet and sit behind it and protect. So it goes to that ease of execution that we were talking about.
And Undying has smoked up now in the enemy triangle. Nobody's really that close, although MSS is starting to walk towards him and they can see the chakram. But looks like it's a warding expedition for the most part.
Yeah, right now we see EG trying to push out the lanes on all 3 lanes, getting the creeps as far back as possible. Meanwhile, though, Roshan going straight into it.
Exo. This is going to be a very quick one. The minus armor from Dubu as well. And it's already at about a 4th HP. And EG, looks like they're posturing to potentially try to go on mid. So this is going to be a free Aegis going the way of Tomato.
Yeah, he's going to be so happy about that.
I'm not sure if Crit has shown his Blink Dagger yet, but probably has. Let's see if they can set something up. So yeah, this just getting... With a lineup like this that is, in theory, better late game, just getting the Aegis is going to extend the game even further. Crick gets the jump into the instant Hex, the Sonic Wave to follow onto 2. Remember, this is the Aegis on Tomato, though. Fate's Edict saving Crit for now, and there's a False Promise on her TZ as well. They're going to get rid of the Aegis as well as the Tusk, but it's going to cost them Crit on the Lion. Now the chase is on Abed and Jerax, taking a lot of damage thanks to that Spirit Siphon. Abed has to pop that BKB. Double kill for Bryle as they take out the second support now for EG.
There was a very crucial ward for Dire that revealed this high ground goal. So that little ward right there allowed them to see, and that made them react in a great way. They send out the Luna and say, yeah, you can go on our Luna. She has Aegis, it's fine. And then everyone gets there and try to punish in the best way they can. So Dire get a really good trade, just losing their Tusk, getting 2 kills. I mean, I guess they used their Aegis, but you'll take it. It's another fight that they won.
I think it's not that bad for EG either. Losing just 2 supports, and they have lower cooldowns on their spells for the most part. Is Tomato trying to set things up onto Queen of Pain. Arteezy not able to blink out. The silence, even with the status resist, is just lasting way too long. He's actually going for Orchid, by the way.
Yeah,
so
it's
surprising.
He usually does go for...
Oh, Tomato pops the BKB. That's the second charge now. He's going to try to turn things around with that Eclipse. No BKB yet for Mr. Abed. Looks like he's going to fall, but the Face Edict does mitigate a little bit of that damage, but not enough to survive.
And they can just keep chasing.
They still have Coil, and MSS is going to get stuck so much magic damage just to rip through Timbersaw.
The line is stuck.
Okay. He does get Hex, but Crit able to blink out to safety. So this was a terrific fight for Undying. They lose nobody.
Yeah, really well done. I want to say something before about when they won the fight. There's a bigger thing that happens when you win a team fight, though. Even if you just barely win it, in terms of getting, 2 for 1. Oh, they're gonna go on Oracle. He looks dead.
Yep, mega dead. Oh, Arteezy actually jumps in. He has Sonic Wave in a couple seconds. So might be able to take out Dubu. Moonmeander might be next as well as Crit. Oh, he's gonna get silenced immediately by Bryle. Very nicely done. They're going to get the Snapfire. There's a Sonic Wave from Arteezy. Hits several heroes, but now he's in a lot of trouble. This could be the second death in just a short amount of time for him.
Blink Dagger on Puck.
It does find Moonmeander, but there's, again, the Waning Rift. Saberlight with the Exorcism. It's about to drop, though, and Arteezy, another blink in 3 seconds, trying to juke around the trees. They're going to spot him with the Illusory Orb and the right click. Down goes Arteezy again. That is his 4th death of the game.
Yeah, that's very scrappy. I mean, that's your Oracle being caught out and killed immediately, and then you take a fight afterwards. You don't have that save that you might need to be able to sustain blinking in aggressively as Queen here. I think the entire reason they wanted to have Oracle is to protect her so she can make these plays. To get back in touch, I guess, on what I was trying to say earlier, is when you win a fight, you win map control as well. So it's sort of a checkmark thing. You win the fight, yes, then you get map control. And that's the bigger trade in my eyes. You traded Aegis for 2 kills and map control.
Yeah, and the later the game goes, the worse that gets, right? Because a lot of times you see the fight recap, like after a big fight where, like, let's say a team gets wiped and you look at, okay, it's like a 5K net worth swing. But then you have to take into account the respawn time or the map control they're getting and the farm they're getting in that meantime as well. So it's usually a much bigger impact than what it seems.
Of course, when we see more items on heroes, then they can ramp up the speed at which they use all the resources on the map, and clearing the entire jungle starts becoming possible. Then a one-team fight is massive. Luna now, we talked about how farm she is, but look at her. She's just about to complete Eye of Skadi this early on, and that's an item that can be problematic for heroes like Kunkka with his BKB or Timbersaw to deal with even, his HP regen. There's a few things that the Eye of Skadi does really well here.
Yeah, she is quite large indeed. Super tanky. The right clicks aren't like crazy right now, but you can get hexed by crit. Finger of Death is available. Oh, the force staff to safety. He's going to get torrented on the cliff, though. Finally pops the BKB, and thus will survive. The coil onto 3 heroes, though. Can EG get out of this unscathed? Abed tries to get a kill, but has to pop the BKB and now run. With that Drums of Endurance popped. They're going to find crit at the very least, and again, the nice jump in from Braille, getting very aggressive. False promise on RTZ. Looks like he'll survive through this. But the chase is continuing as Abed, trying to run away, will just barely get out, but Arteezy's not going to be lucky enough as a double kill for Tomato comes to fruition. 3 dead, and Undying, despite losing their puck, win yet another fight.
And they won that fight very heavily off. First of all, the Force Staff was really good to push Luna to safety, but then the Coil and the Death Prophet together worked so well. The Coil just locked them down, and Death Prophet running in with BKB. There's no answer for that right now. When she goes in, everyone just has to run away from her. She is, I think, the biggest beast on the battlefield right now.
And we're going to see the replay here. It was a good initiation attempt onto Tomato, but I believe that was somebody's Force Staff, right?
Yeah, it was Snapfire. Or actually, was it Cookie? Oh, I guess it was just Cookie, because he doesn't have Force Staff. Yeah.
But that, I think, probably saved his life.
I'm surprised he got him all the way to the
high ground to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they do have really good setup for the Coil as well. And so once you get a 3-man Coil, the fight is usually going to be over. But of course, that's where False Promise comes in to play in terms of positioning for Mr. Jerax.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how many can you save, really. I mean, he can try and protect one hero really well. That's what Oracle does. But you don't have that one monster in EG that you put False Promise on and he's going to auto-win the fight. You don't have like a Huskar or Death Prophet, something, you know, unkillable with False Promise. So it is a bit complicated, and they have to not get caught out in such a clumped up positioning. I think Undying punish really hard if EG stack up together.
And Abed is going to reveal this smoke. He's going to get stunned, but he is X'd. See if he can get out just fine. We'll be good. Lumiana getting very close to a Blink Dagger for himself, as Blink is also on puck, as we already saw. Actually going for Eon Disc as well, as Torrent is actually going to connect onto Dubu. He's going to get bursted down thanks to the Finger of Death. So a quick support kill for EG, and this is the most room that they've had to play with, it feels like, in quite a while. Oh, Coil onto several heroes again. Sonic Wave to follow, though. They're going to be able to delete Bryle from the map, even despite the good Coil coming out. BKB onto Bryle, or onto Abed, I should say, as he attempts to run away. Again, Undying cleaning up the supports relatively easily. False Promise still on Arteezy. He'll be fine. Ends up being a 2-for-1, 1 core for 2 supports.
Yeah, they did also kill the Snapfire just right before, and she bought back as well, so not too bad of a trade if they can get out fully here. Oh, Arteezy blinked in.
Oh, Arteezy. Yeah, blink on cooldown for 3 seconds. This is really bad. Oh, my.
Oh, no.
That is a rough death.
Yeah, he was...
As you can see his reaction. Very used to it, I think.
Feels bad.
Death, hydrate.
He had another read. He was like, he thought that they controlled the triangle and that they were going to try and push, so he wanted to split a little bit, but Undying, they probably had an inkling of an idea there what he was going to do, so they stalk with Tomato. Good heads-up play.
And Roshan is now... Oh, no, he's actually up in a minute and a half, so still a pretty late spawn, actually. As Tomato's going to take out this tier 1 uncontested. He has a Crystalist and going for Daedalus, and that is where the damage will come from.
we've seen that a lot more on Luna lately in general. It is very meta right now, just going for pretty early dateless builds. It makes her hit really hard on single targets. I mean, still the AoE is good, but it's more her man-fighting abilities.
Oh, wow. Double BKB to dodge that impale coming from Crit. He's actually going to get the false promise applied to him instead of a core, and now coil onto 2. As Kunkka, all right, they're going to get the Eon Disc proc onto Bryle. They're going to jump back in, trying to kill Arteezy again. He's silenced up, stuck inside the shards. He's dead. Buyback onto the Lion, though, as Abed getting eclipsed down, but a creep wave is going to tank a little bit of it. That's a double buyback now for EG, as Undying has only lost Moon Meander.
Double buyback.
They're just going to reset.
They don't have TP on Queen, though, so she has to blink and run all the way up there. I think maybe they can get out on Undying. The Aeon Disc on Puck was just delivered, by the way, when he was fighting there. So I think maybe he would have been killed if it didn't arrive right there. So 2:45 faster than average was very important in this game, I think.
And this is all about the next Roche, which is in 10 seconds. And they'll have Moon Meander up just in time for that. But False Promise used on Crit. I'm not a pro player here, Waga, obviously. Maybe best to save that for a core, though. I don't know how important it is to save Lion.
They probably should have sold him. I mean, I think you just trade your Lion for the double BKB at that point, when they both BKB'd his stun. But it's so easy to say afterwards.
True. Well, Coil is going to snap. False Promise is actually not up for 2 seconds, so that means Crit is donezo. Abed looks to be next, but he's going to pop the BKB, attempt to run away. Saberlight, all right, they're going to get clipped by that Sonic Wave. Arteezy keeping them at bay as MSS is continuing to get chased, but should be fine, and the Exorcism is about half duration. Now see if they can get into the Roche pit.
Long death time on Lion here because he bought back earlier, so you have 50 seconds with you know, that important disable not being there, making it easier for Puck to play. I doubt that we're going to see EG go and contest this at all. They're probably just going to give away a Roche. Yeah, they're not making a
very hard contest indeed. So Aegis and Shard. Shard is already on Tomato, so we can have a nice discussion of who gets. I mean, Death Prophet's Shard is crazy.
It's DP, I think, in this game. Her Shard is really good. I would probably give it to him. Yeah, he looks to be the one consuming it. I really enjoy that one because it's the type of shard nobody thinks about. Of course, DP shard is that you increase the Spirit Siphon charges by 1, which is nice. But if you drain enemies for 4 seconds in a row with Spirit Siphon, they will run away for 2 seconds feared by you. And that is, if you don't think about that, you can get
MSS. Oh no. He tried to do the Timber Chain TP, but didn't end up hitting a tree, so he just got stunned with Lucent Beam. That was unfortunate.
Doesn't feel
but
great.
Yeah, the Shard on Death Pro, I mean, especially when comboed with Puck Coil, that's pretty disgusting, actually.
True. That's really good.
Abed's getting caught out, stuck inside the shards. Crit gets a nice Earth Spike. Will it be enough to save him? Mortimer's Kissers, there's the Coil. BKB runs away. Bryle does not have the Aghanim Scepter yet, as Jerax is forced to False Promise himself, but I would assume this is enough damage to take him anyway.
I think so, yeah. But actually he healed a lot, but in the end, goes down. No.
So 15k net worth lead for Undying. They have showed up to play today. Wonder if Bulba is at the EG house right now after all that controversy. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but this is going to be a set of racks at the very least for Undying.
Yeah, they probably need to have a little bit of a talk after this game because it's already starting to look like EG have to go back to the drawing board after this. I mean, 18,000 lead, 1 racks down. Don't want to count them out fully from the game, but this Luna is right now a problem that I don't see the solution to.
Yeah, especially with the Aegis as the BKB in the backpack. I mean, we did... Oh, Moon Meander going to jump in. Gets off the Walrus Punch. MSS stuck inside the shards, but Timber Chain's just in time. I bet he gets a nice torrent, but... Oh, the Cookie into an aggressive play, potentially. But Tomato, like you said, is untouchable. I mean, we discussed this, and you guys discussed this on the panel, that an unusual draft from EG. It feels like a lot of these types of drafts either work out amazingly well or completely flop, and there's very little in between, and I think we're seeing the flop.
Yeah, I think there was some idea to this draft other than what I was seeing, but it's not allowed to hit its timing because Undying's draft is pretty strong for punishing early, and they also played a really nice team fight early on.
Oh, crit, blinks in, gets a nice Earth Spike into the Finger of Death. Is it enough to take out Saberlight? No, he just pops the BKB. Sonic Wave from Arteezy is very nice, though. Moon Meander takes the tumble, but Saberlight with that fear on the Spirit Siphon is just forcing everybody back. False Promise applied to Abed, trying to get back into the fountain, but they're just dropping like flies. GG will probably come out shortly, as this is going to be close to a team wipe, but still EG with a couple of buybacks. There's going to be a second lane of Rax, for sure.
Just a trip to the enemy fountain and then back up and keep taking racks. Yeah, they call it.